Yeah, g'day. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Stringybark podcasting on this fine Monday, 23rd of February. Another beautiful day out here in the Western Downs, Queensland. Driving home from work today, I seen a car up ahead of me pulled over on the side of the road. And as I got closer, I kind of recognised the vehicle. So I pulled over behind him, chucked my hazards on, and walked over to the ute. And he got out, and it was me mate, Shawnee. I haven't seen him for a while. He's been away working for a bit, so it was actually good to see him. He got a new number, so I got his number back, and we're back in contact. So it's weird how it works like that. But anyway, so what's going on, man? Fuck, I haven't seen you for a bit. Anyway, what are you pulled over for? He goes, you wouldn't believe it. I spilt my long neck all over me. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I was driving, and there's a kangaroo. But as he was drinking, he reckoned, kangaroo jumped over the road. And he had to do the whole swervo and everything, fully let go of the beer and everything. It ended up on his lap, went all over the front, little bit down on the side, seat, floor, panel, and yeah, long neck. Reckons he only just drank the neck of it, and yeah, so he literally just pulled over like a minute before I got there, and just fucking beer all over him, and only about this much left in the bottle. I said, "You poor bugger." On the way home from work on a bloody Monday. And yeah, anyway, so he wasn't far from home. He had a little sip and then fucking ripped his shirt off, and then off he went. And hopefully try and catch up with him for his schooner at the local pub on Friday, which should go down pretty well. But that was just a bit of a yarn on the way home from work today for me. Anyway, a bit of Queensland news as we do. We start the episode off, bit of Queensland news. And weird thing last week, I think I spoke about. There was a block on the Gold Coast. A couple bought this block of land. It was 89 square meters, and sold for like 550,000. 89 square meter block, nothing, no property boundaries, no nothing, just a bit of grass. And here's one for you. There's a driveway in Sydney, I think in the Northern Beaches in Sydney, a driveway sold for $1.2 million. Now, I don't know. I didn't really look. I didn't see the article. I just overheard it on the news on the radio. Like like that's crazy. And isn't that showing the times of this? How pricey the housing market is at the moment, and cost of living, inflation, and all that rubbish. So it's not good, you know. I don't know how the younger generation are meant to get in and buy their first home. I don't know how anyone is. Even if you come out to the bush, even they're going up a bit in price as well now. So it's it's scarcity. It's the lack of it as well. There's nowhere near enough. I heard in Adelaide that apparently it's near impossible to find a rental. So I don't know what the bloody hell this Labor Greens government are going to do from here, but we still got another 2 years of this. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, and that's a story. Driveway 1.2 million Sydney. Second story for the afternoon is Trump Tower is apparently one step closer to getting approved on the Gold Coast. So I know that's upset a few people, but not many. It's mainly people love the idea. I reckon it's a great idea to bring tourism to the Gold Coast, more tourism. It's great. It's a great idea for local businesses, local workers during the construction period and after while the business is running. Trump Towers. Imagine that. People would go there, I reckon, in Australia just to get a photo out the front of it. Because I know I'm thinking about it. And I tell you, I don't cross the Great Dividing Range often. So if I'm heading down that way, it's for a reason. Yeah, so one step closer. A Queensland developer by the name of Altus Group has pitched a design to Trump, pitched the whole concept, planning, designing. I think it's one street back from the beach. It's 91 stories, so it's a bit of a bopper. 285 like hotel rooms, guests, and 272 units for residential purposes as well. So I think they're just waiting on a bit of a council approval for the design and concept and all that. And then, yeah, Tom Tate's obviously the mayor of the Gold Coast, and over the few years I've been seeing, he's a fan of Trump, so I don't think he'll have an issue. We'll see how the Gold Coast City Council handle this, and we'll keep an eye on it. Story 3 is in Brizzy on the Brisbane River. There's it's a paddle boat. It's a weapon of a thing. It was built in 1986 for the 1998 Expo that they had. Brisbane hosted it. It's called the Kookaburra Queen, and she's a mighty old thing. Sailed up and down the Brisbane River since 1986. So there's a bit of history there. Fair people know it if you're local and know the area of Brisbane, especially the dirty old Brizzy River. Um, yeah, quick story about the Brizzy River. I used to work on a barge on the Brisbane River with an excavator, and we'd do a lot of embankment work and rock gaving cages, stone pitch walls, and all that. Tidal work, obviously, but they reckon that in the 70s or early 60s, around then, the Brizzy River was pretty clear because it had a pretty thick layer of river rock on the bottom, river gravel. But I think over the years they dredged it out so they could start hauling material down the Brizzy River via barges. And yeah, so I think because all the river rock's gone, it's now just all the mud, so it's just turned to shit. So yeah, there's nothing to filter out the water is good. But yeah, that blew me away, and they reckon that it's tidal. Yeah, up towards, I'm pretty sure it was in the Moggle Ferry, up that side of Brisbane, like the west side of Brizzy. Um, um, you could walk across it on low tide. So I thought that was pretty cool. So the Kookaburra Queen, this mighty paddle boat that gets up and down the Brizzy River, she's not looking very good. It hasn't been maintained. It's been left to pretty much rot. So she's sunken, and she's sitting on the bottom of the Brisbane River. So it's not fully submerged, but her pontoons are under, and she's taken on water. Apparently, it won't go any deeper, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Apparently, some rich people on the Goldie bought it and forgot about it probably, and then so now she's just been sitting there to float away and die. Debris going up and down the river, just Mother Nature doing its thing. And yeah, so the ex-owner reckons that it was only up and running like 4 or 5 months ago, and he reckons that it would take a fair bit to get it going again. The electrics are all buggered, salt water, all that mud from the sitting on the bottom, and whatever else is happening to her. So he reckons it's an 80% chance if another rich person buys it and spends a lot of money on it, get her out, restore it, get it floating again. It could possibly be done. I think he gave it a 70% chance, but anyway, it needs to hurry up and get done because old things like that, man, they don't make things like that anymore. The old paddle boat. I'll share a photo in the video. It's yeah, it's a mighty old looking ship. It would have been pretty cool back in the day. So yeah, let's hope someone plucks her out of the river and restores her so she can get back to her former glory. That's it for Queensland news. Our great state of Queensland, which a Liberal government's still doing pretty damn well. David Crisafulli, he's been bringing back a lot of new industries and getting productivity and manufacturing going again, especially out in Western Queensland where we are. It's good to see, and it's good to hear that he's thinking about us country folk. Very often we get left behind being out here, kind of a she'll be right attitude and just battle through. But it does get tough, and especially over the years, they definitely haven't had the support. So yeah, we're very appreciative of all this incoming work and infrastructure that's going to be coming out here, which is going to generate more jobs, more money, and more work for our local businesses. And it's going to hopefully put some money back into our local council. They can start spending some money on some much needed road repairs and drainage works and restore our old buildings. I shared a video the other day. We had a pretty big hailstorm come through here about 4 or 5 months ago, and she was dropping hailstones like near cricket balls, but they weren't as fat, but they were getting up there like that. And the old tile roof and the old corrugated iron roof didn't last. The only ones that kind of do were the colorbond ones. Oh, sorry, the colorbond ones. But yeah, our local council chambers copped a bit of a hiding on the old tile roof. She's buggered, and it's been like that for, like I said, 4 or 5 months. So just got a big old tarp over it. There's a few houses in town that are looking like that still. So let's hope they can hurry up and get that sorted out, because we've had a couple of whopping storms, just rain in between the hail and now. Anyway, just a bit of Australian news. I come across an article about Bunnings, and apparently they're merging with Uber Eats, and they're going to be offering delivery services of all small items at Bunnings, um, delivered within an hour. They guarantee. So yeah, smaller items to middle size items. I think he said about 8,900 items are available for delivery through their new service with Uber Eats. So yeah, so I thought that was pretty random and pretty cool as well. And what a great idea to merge Uber Eats and Bunnings, and just offer that service. Uh, Now, obviously, they can't be delivering you a full size brand new kitchen package, but you can be getting delivered some nuts and bolts and some screws and whatever have you. But in Sydney, six stores of Bunnings are going to offer this service, and I think they're going to test it and see how it goes. So, yeah, and no sausage sizzles available or bugger. Yeah, so that's about it on the Aussie news. And the news we've been watching is the Iran and USA bit of a show going on at the moment. I think Trump's sending some more military assets heading that way. So he's taking it serious. Like he said, I think he gave him 10 days to pretty much hurry up and sign their nuclear deal. Obviously, we don't really know what it all entails, but from what I've been reading, it's you can't be enriching uranium, you can't be enriching weapons of mass destruction. Pretty sure Trump wants you to hand over the machines that enrich uranium, and I'm pretty sure that he wants a bit of your nuclear stockpile. So I don't know what you're going to do here. You're pretty well snooked. So yeah, I'm not sure, because they reckon it is the biggest build up in the Middle East since Iraq in 2003. So yeah, it's serious, and we'll be hearing more in the future. But nothing happens in 10 days. I'm pretty sure Trump will do something about it, and then as a bit of a warning, maybe a small military exercise as a warning, and then yeah, if nothing's heed after that, I don't know where it will go. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. So yeah, just a mainstream media talking point, which is seems to be a lot of what a lot of other podcasters and social media influencers talk about nowadays. But being a One Nation supporter for eight years or so, Pauline Hanson's front and center of the media once again, only because she's doing so well, and my fellow Australians are starting to wake up to the fact that she's been right all along, and she's never backed down from her belief. So you got to recommend her for that just alone. She's been getting a bit of slack from the media and a few other social media influencers, a couple other knuckleheads. Got to remember, people, she'll never take a backward step. She won't change her values. She's for Australia. She's been here long enough now. She knows the ways. So, a lot of people put her down for this thing with the Muslims the other day. Now, we've got to remember that she's from a few generations ago. Yeah. And, she's thinking about it, but her, mouth can't really keep up, I believe. So, she's a ginger, and she's fiery, and it shows that's her passion coming out. That's her love for her country. That's for her, feeling for her kids and her grandkids and everything she's worked hard for, everything that she's seen in her time in Australia. You got to remember that she's been around a long time in Australian politics and just Australia in general. respect-wise, and her position is in the Australian culture is next to none. There's not many like her left in it. But at the end of the day, she hasn't been wrong. She wasn't wrong, and she's seen this coming years ago. You only need to look now in other Western countries. Let's say example would be England and Britain. You just hear the stories of what people are saying that are actually from there and living there and have left there. Totally changed. Not what they grew up with, not what England and Britain should be. And it's horrible, and it's devastating to see that the politicians and unelected bureaucrats are destroying a mighty culture that once was. And it's horrible, and it's devastating to see that the politicians and unelected bureaucrats are destroying a mighty culture that once was the pinnacle of Western civilization, same as America, the mighty British. Like, you can say all you want bad about them, but they pretty much took over half the world. They sailed the seven seas, the uncharted waters. They found places that have never been seen before and established communities and built nations. They went right back from the Stone Age from the Dark Ages, the Bronze Ages, after for being a functioning society since their founding and up until 50, 60 years ago, it's fallen apart, and it's sad. It's sad. All European Western countries, cultures are just disappearing and dying. And we can blame the immigrants and blame the different cultures that they're bringing into these places, and the politicians and all these elites. But at the end of the day, once England isn't England anymore, once England isn't England anymore, you'll never get it back. It'll never be restored to what it once was, and the countries from where these people came from will still be the same. So, like I said, once Australia isn't Australia anymore, and the people that are coming here and trying to change our ways. Now, we're not talking about all immigrants here, right? We have to remember, we're talking about mass immigration, which is literally changing the fabrics of our nation. It's changing the culture, the values, the language, the religion, the society, everything. Now, it may only be little bits now, but you give it a few more generations, then, the Australia that we knew, 20, 30, 40 years ago is kind of nearly already gone now. So this is what Pauline Hanson's talking about and what other people are talking about. We're not the only people. So, for example, Senator Payman came from Afghanistan to Australia, and she wants to turn Australia into Afghanistan, or she wants to turn it into a communist socialist country. We are neither. Now, this is an example. You can go back to Afghanistan and fix it and make it great like it once was. That's the option. There's no turning Australia or any other Western nation into a third world communist shithole. Right? We are great for a reason, and we have prospered for a reason, and we have succeeded for a reason. And that's why everyone wants to come to our great Western nations. Everyone wants to move to Australia. Everyone wants to move to New Zealand. Everyone wants to move to the mighty USA, Canada. You know what I mean? Europe, England, Scotland, Ireland. Let's just, we shouldn't even still be talking about this rubbish. We've literally been talking about this for 5 or 10 years, right? And we're getting little drips and drabs of some good things coming through, but it just needs to be stopped. An attack on all immigrants. Like I've said, we appreciate and we acknowledge and consider you an Australian if you come here and you work hard, you have the Australian values and principles, you contribute to society, contribute to our great country via working, taxes, living here, buying houses here, having kids here, whatever. Adopting the Australian way of life and having Australian values at the centre, and having Australian values, because we appreciate that and we need that. And I know myself, working all up the east coast of Australia over the last 20 years, mining, civil construction, I've met all kinds of walks of life of people. The hardworking family man, happy-go-lucky, hardworking person, man or woman of any culture, they're good people. They're great people. We got along. We got along well. I respected what they were, whatever they were on about, and they respected what I was ever on about. Um, and if you are one of the people that has seen my videos, you know that, because we did get along. We had no dramas together. You often, some of yous often bum smokes off me. I bum smokes off you. You know, if we're in camp, then we'll, hang out, play cards, pool, hang back at the wet mess, watch a bit of NFL, have some dessert, fucking whatever, beer, or and me mates in the pub. Yous are the same. So my mates in the pub, yous are the same. So that's what I'm talking about. But the issue that we feel is the infiltration from the radical left and outside influences, who have taken advantage of the meaningful, laid-back attitude of Australia. They've infiltrated our politics. They've infiltrated our institutions. They've infiltrated our institutions. They've They've even gone as far as hijacked the environmental movements and the Aboriginal movements in Australia. This is directed at the radical left wing that has infiltrated the politicians, the lobbyists, the unions, big businesses, and every other organisation that's against Australia. So we need to nip this on the butt. And this, if you've been following Trump long enough, this is what he's calling the deep state. This is what he needs to try and infiltrate. The radical left is a disease on the Western culture and our great Western nations. At Stringybark podcasting, we talk about for Australia, we're for Australia's citizens, and we are for Australia's best interest. Is number two is the diabolical radical left that has infiltrated our great country. I believe that we're slowly getting there, so we just got to keep the pressure up. Some mainstream media outlets are also starting to voice our concerns. My fellow podcasters are definitely doing it, and other social media influencers, so well done. And to anyone else, I just, if I can get out here and do what I'm doing, you can definitely do it. Trust me, because I'm like a hermit crab. So, yeah, even my wife is like, "You doing what?" And I said, "Yeah, babe, we got to do it." Because I did it before. 2016, I started following Trump when he was running for election, and I was full into it, man. I was into I was going down all the rabbit holes. Asked my wife. It was horrible for her. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. The 4chan, the QAnon, the Where We One Go All. I don't want to mention these names again, because every time I do, they shadow ban me, and they don't express my content. So I can't be mentioning that rubbish anymore. So I've got to kind of limit on what I say a little bit. Names, organizations, foundations, laws, past or soon to be past. So yeah, 2016, Trump started True Blue News Australia, had that for about 4 or 5 years, and then it got shut down during the 2022 election, where it was rigged and stolen. So yeah, I lost that, and then had the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and a website, and it all got shut down. I kept trying to open it up, and they just kept getting shut down again. 30-day bans happened for a good solid 6-8 months. Full censorship, nothing like you even seen today. If you were around back then, and there's people that are probably laughing at me saying, "Oh, he's only been red pilled since 2016." I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, mostly it was Trump, man. I'm telling you, Trump woke a lot of people up, if you think about it, and you're definitely probably one of them. There's probably old school people who are before then, 2000s, like 9/11, who's I'll give a quick shout out, is a fellow Australian, Brendan Lee O'Connell. He lives over in Mexico, where it's pretty much nearly on fire. I think one town is because a couple of cartels are setting fire to the city and causing mayhem. That's where he is at the moment, so I'll be keeping an eye on his videos. It's Brendan Lee O'Connell on YouTube and Patreon. So yeah, the True Blue News got shut down, and then pretty much just went underground for a while and just chilled out, didn't do any of this. And then pretty much over the last maybe 4 or 5 months, or 4 months, I've been getting a bit of an inkling to maybe start up a bit of a podcast thing again and just see how it goes. Hopefully it does all right, and you all support me, and people get behind me, and we'll see how it goes. I think we kind of need to get a bit more of the message out to my fellow podcasters, especially Aussie ones. Try and band together here, fellas, um, and work hard for a cause and really drum it down now while it's fresh in everyone. Because yeah, momentum's definitely on our side, and it's been a while. It's been a long slog for the last 8 to 10 years of pretty much Western civilization going down the gurgler. And like I've said in previous videos, if it wasn't for the mighty USA and Donald Trump, I don't know where Western civilization will be. We kind of got a snippet of it, and it wasn't looking good. That woke a few people up. It definitely woke me up to the fact that once you lose what you have, you can't get that back. So, and that statement means a fair bit to a lot of people. So yeah, radical left, no good. We just got to keep an eye out on as well as social media, other lefty organisations, other lefty media influencers. Yeah, putting down Pauline Hanson and One Nation, because I heard in an interview the other day, she's starting to experience the media backlash and the backlash from CEOs of businesses in the 1990 election in Queensland. So, like I said, she's not new to the game, and she definitely deserves our support. I don't believe there's really many options, my fellow Australians. At the end of the day, if Liberal don't get their act together, like David Crisafulli is, but even David Crisafulli can wind it up a little bit more, especially on the issue of abortion. Now, I know this is a touchy subject, and because I'm a Christian, I have to bring it up. Full-term abortion is not good. No nation should offer full-term abortion. I don't care what you say. You can report me, I don't care. You can call me all names and try and hurt me feelings, I don't care. But full-term abortion is not good. There's laws and tests and proven theories on a certain timeline when it should be done. At the stage of weeks, I'm not exactly sure. Please don't quote me on it. It might be around 20s, 23, 4. But yeah, so yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. But the Liberal Party need to sort their act out real quick, and get back to their true values and true meanings of being a Liberal Party and being a true political party for the Australian people. You just need to get back in with the Nats again, and you just need to work together for our great nation. So yeah, I don't believe there is many other options. Gerard Rennick is doing pretty good. People First Party, he's doing very well. He's a very smart businessman. He knows a lot about economy. He knows a lot about the economy, world politics, and he knows the Australian law. So he's definitely another good fellow that we need to get behind and support. And the other one would be the great Bob Katter and the Katter Party. Now, especially me being out in the bush, Bob Katter is a true country Australian icon, and his son Robbie is doing a mighty fine job. So we need to get behind these fellas. We need to support them. We need to back them, and we need to give them our prayers and hope that they do well. Same as One Nation, same as Gerard Rennick, because I don't think we really have much of an option unless the Liberal Party and National Party sort their act out. So yeah, because let's face it, my fellow Australians, we've had enough. This has been going on for too long, And this has been going on for too long, and we're not flogging the dead horse anymore. We need action. I was going to talk about something, and I hope you comment or let me know what you're thinking. But obviously, if you're watching me podcast and we're of like minds, if you support me, we definitely are. If you keep scrolling, then that's all right. There's definitely some other podcast or influencer you can go and watch. But I often listen to Nick J. Fuentes, and I have for years, and he's a character, and he's a character, and he knows a lot of history, and I like learning history as well, especially about our great nations, Australia and America, and I'm often surprised and amused at the conflict between like them. So let's say like Nick J Fuentes, Candace Owen, Tucker Carlson, Tim Cast, and like Ben Shapiro, and of the ilk, those people. They always kind of be bickering at each other. So I often wonder if like are they just doing that for views between themselves, or because I'm sure that because they've known each other, they know of each other, they've bumped in with each other, they know people who know each other, they've probably got friends who are friends with each other. Um, so yeah, I don't know, but it's funny sometimes because Nick J Fuentes reckons that Candace Owen loves him and wants to be his wife, but she's married to some king of bloody England who owns some lordship up on in a town up in a hidden mountain somewhere, or what, with mooses and fairies flying around in enchanted gardens. That's who Candace is married to, and yeah, and then Nick's been reckoned, and yeah, Nick reckons that she's in love with him, and that she keeps retweeting his ex posts. So I just find it funny, but yeah, I just find it funny. And Candace doesn't really mention Nick. I haven't heard that for a while, but then Alex Jones and then I follow Alex Jones for ages, Infowars.com. Buy all the supplements. Don't forget to like and subscribe, buy the coffee mugs and t-shirts. But fuck, he knows some information as well, and yeah, he's always going to keep your mind going. I tell you, he will send you down some rabbit holes as well. But he's got a lot of good information as well. But the fact is that yeah, the fact of the matter is that I like and support all these people, and I follow all these characters. So yeah, it's good. But yeah. So I don't know what you think about the rift between them all. Like I said, it's not really the Alex Joneses and the Nick Fuentes. It's more so the Fuentes and Tucker and the Candace. But I reckon aside, when the videos aren't on, I reckon that it's just for numbers. But hey, you probably already know that. But let me know what you reckon. But either way, I love and support them all. So I'm going to keep following, and I'm going to keep liking and subscribing because it's good entertainment and I learn a lot. So, and the more I learn, the more I can give out. So yeah, that's probably it for tonight. And thanks for tuning in and watching again. I appreciate all the support and shares, follows, likes, mentions. It all means a lot. It all kind of gives me a bit of a boost to keep going, and just kind of gives me a bit of a boost and to keep going, to hang in there. And hopefully, I'm helping out my fellow Australians. Hopefully, I'm helping out my fellow Australians, our great Western society, and standing up for our Christian values. The other aim of me podcast is to get the attention back out to country and rural Australia, to my hard-working fellow Australians that live in the bush. Um, I know what yous go through, and I appreciate your hard work and sacrifice, especially our great farmers, anyone that works in manufacturing, abattoirs, farming, cropping, any business on the land. I appreciate the dedication and hard work that goes into doing what you're doing. And sometimes it seems in the media and in the city, people forget that people live so far out west. So my goal in my podcast is to bring the attention and limelight back into my fellow Australians that live in the bush. So, because we believe the backbone of Australia is our great hard-working country folk, and we want to preserve and keep that as well as preserve and keep our great country, Australia. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your night or day, because I'll probably chuck this up tomorrow. And Monday, first day back at work. So yeah, only 4 or 5 days left, and then the weekend again. So I'm back to working Monday to Friday now. Not doing any roster work for a little bit. So which is good. I get to sleep in my own bed, have a shower in my own shower, and eat at my own dinner table, which is good. And you do miss it. So yeah, hard hats off to all my fly in, fly out, drive in, drive out, hard work to my fellow fluoro shirt workers. I know what you go through. I know what you go through. It's hard. You just got to hang in there. Think of your dream. Think of the long run. Think of your family. Think of your goals. And yeah, the Aussie way is just to harden up and get on with it. So yeah, be safe and take care. Episode tomorrow night. Thanks for hanging around for a yarn.